extreme creatures that science has produced. So far, we've seen how genetic engineering can be used to produce animals to our exact specifications. But once you've made the ultimate creature, how do you ensure you can preserve it? Giles is heading to the stables to find out.
Hi.
You're Charmaine then.
Hi.
And
This is Scamper.
So what's so special about this horse?
He's a 10-time world champion barrel racing horse, and he won those 10 championships consecutively.
And what is barrel racing exactly?
Barrel racing is a timed event around 3 barrels.
Charmaine Rodman, Gulf, California, on the Scamper. Come on, Scamp, let's go Bay Horse.
Who was you riding him?
I was the only one who rode him.
He still can at 14, he's $1 million winner!
Scamper was a bronc when he was young. And
bronc?
He bucked.
Wild,
he bucked a lot of people off. There's no telling what kind of abuse he had, being that he was so mean. He went through 3 or 4 sale yards. Nobody wanted him.
So Scamper had a troubled childhood, but just when everyone else had given up on him, Charmaine came to his rescue. It's like Seabiscuit. It's a proper romance.
Yeah, and I was a little 11-year-old girl that just was horse crazy, and he met me for the first time, and we just basically fell in love. It was a match made in heaven, love at first sight. Scamper made me who I was and what I was, and he did. You know, I lived every day of my life with him for 10 years while I was winning a world championship, never left him.
But all good things come to an end. So when did Scamper stop racing?
He's been retired for around 10 years now.
So when he was retired, did you carry on racing on different horses?
Yes.
And they weren't as good?
Oh, no.
What was it they didn't have, the other horses?
They didn't have whatever Scamper was made of.
Scamper's a world-famous horse, and in theory, his genetics, basically his sperm, are worth a fortune. But in fact, it's more complicated than that. And Scamper never had any children?
No, he's a gelding.
Oh, poor fellow. And when you met him, he was already a gelding?
He was already a gelding.
So what do you do when you've got $1 million racehorse and no way to reproduce him? Well, here on the farm, there's an obvious solution.
So you can't have children, so you've decided to clone him?
We decided to clone him so we could get that same genetics.
How did it come about? How did they clone Scamper? They took cells from him, or...?
Yeah, they took a biopsy, just a little small amount of tissue from Scamper, and of course we gene banked him, and then when they had the science to...
You gene banked him before they had the science?
Yes.
And then what, they gave you a call when they had the technology?
Yes, when they knew they had it right, they said, okay, we're ready to go.
The tissue that Charmaine gene banked contained DNA with all the instructions necessary to make Scamper. This DNA was then extracted from one of the cells and injected into an empty horse egg. The egg was given an electric shock to trick it into dividing and implanted into the womb of a surrogate mare. The resulting baby was a precise genetic copy of Scamper, exactly in the way an identical twin would be. The little clone is named Clayton. And Scamper's about to meet his younger self.
There's Clayton.
Oh. Well, he looks pretty normal, but this is crazy stuff, and I reckon it must be even weirder for Scamper. Have they met many times before?
This is the second time they've met. And Scamper's not real fond of Clayton. He likes his mama.
Really?
Yes, so he's protecting the mama from the baby.
Is he? Is that that's a man thing?
That's a Scamper thing.
Is this chopping mouth, is that a threat?
Yes.
So Scamper doesn't think much of his clone. But what about Charmaine? You see similarities between the two already?
He carries himself the same. He has the same arch in his neck. He's just very confident. The first time I saw him, I just couldn't take my eyes off of him. It just makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up to think that this is how Scamper was when he was a baby, and it's real emotional.